sorry, but if I'm being honest, 2025 was just no one's year. Like, usually every year you hear people say, like, oh, well, this year was a good year for me. And I'm always like, well, yeah, it had its moments, but it was a pretty good year. No, last year sucked. It was a filler episode in our lives. So, um, I'm gonna just get through these episodes very quickly. I've got 11 left, so that's 10 more videos after this. I'm gonna try to do at least 2 a day. Not today though, because I'm late to doing it at the time of recording. But yes, let's hop right into it. So, season 5, episode 4, which is one of my favorite episodes in the show, but the best one in this whole season. And that's because this is what I called it when it first came out, the final children's episode. And that's because after episode 4, the rating for the episodes goes from rated 7 plus to 13. So, or I think it's TV 14. So that means that the stakes go higher, which would make sense. I mean, season 5, we all know what season 5 is. It's the week of, I don't even remember. I can't think right now. That's hilarious. Um, Holy Week, there you go. We all know it's Holy Week. And so, it just makes sense. So I would assume that season 6 is PG 13 through and through. Yeah, so, anyway, let's get into it. So, season 5, episode 4, The Same Coin. You know who this episode's about. Starts off with the Daenu. I think I'm saying that right. It's essentially what they would do what the Jews would do at Passover. And I don't know if they still do it, but that's what they would do at the Passover. And they would say, if, like, just go through the plagues, go through the Red Sea, all of that. And they would say, if God had only sent the frogs and not sent the crickets. I don't remember. I can't think of what they were actually called. Um, and not we'll just go with crickets. I know it's another bug, and not the crickets. It would have been enough. And they go through that, and this will be a very important thing in the end of this episode, actually. So they go through that, and then as they're taking the bread, sipping the wine, going through it, Jesus tells Judas, he says, you don't have to be here anymore. It's not exact words, but you don't have to be here anymore. He's confused, and Jesus says, he has you now. I think I should have probably rewatched this episode, but he says he has you now. And so, what does that mean exactly? Well, we know that in the Bible it says that, um, again, not exact, quote, but it says that the devil was inside of Judas when he did all this stuff. And so he he has you now, and Judas asks, who? And Jesus says, not God. And angry, because I would be angry, which that will never happen, but he he storms out and he grabs a cloak, and we obviously know where he's going, where he's heading, and what's gonna happen. So that is the first part in the same coin. And then after Judas, um, Jesus tells the disciples, the remaining ones, or no, Andrew asked where Judas went, and I think Big James says probably to give out something you give out for Passover, like free stuff to the alms. And Jesus says, uh, he says the big thing after this night. This is our last night together. So yeah, so that's the first part of this episode. It gave me chills the first time watching it, especially the whole Judas part. That was crazy. All right, and then we get into the next part, which is just after the last episode. The basically what happened at the temple. So we see Raffi talking to the landowner. I don't know if I mentioned him in the last episode, or the chosen episode. And so he just says that he's not going to recover, and we see Atticus staring at them, which will be a big thing in the next episode, maybe? And then we cut to Jesse and the woman who had the issue of blood, and they're talking, and they're clearly worried because they know that they were just trying to get Jesus to say the wrong thing so that they could kill him. And then it's really oh wait, hold on. Sorry. And then we see Mary Magdalene. She's trying to find Yusuf, and Shmuel ends up finding her, and he starts to try to degrade her, like saying like this is the woman with 7 devils in her, and she starts to basically rebuke him, and she says that I'm Mary Magdalene something. Sorry, I don't remember. Should have done it. Should have looked it up. But she basically just owns Shmuel, and then Yusuf comes, and Shmuel realizes that he was in the crowd disguised, and so so they leave, and once Yusuf starts talking to Mary, then another Pharisee, I don't know what you would call him, maybe, I don't know, he comes and tells Yusuf that they are having a emergency meeting about what had just happened, and then it cuts, no help from Yusuf, no Mary, just there. And then it cuts to one of the best scenes in this whole season, and that's the scene where Judas waits for Peter to come back, and he asks, like, what was that? Like, he's mad because, in his eyes, this is separating him from the people, which he thinks that this is all about destroying Rome still. And so, one of the best lines in this whole show, Peter says, "You're a walking contradiction, you Judas. You think that he can make 1,000 swords appear, yet you don't trust him and what he does." It's beautiful stuff. I messed up the last part, but what I said the first time, it's amazing. So he owns Judas, and he keeps calling him contradiction, which he is. Judas is a contradiction of himself. And then Big James says that they're all talking inside. The guys are the disciples. Jesus is not there, I believe. And then that's the entire scene. And the only reason I'm bringing these up is because that's like the ads. So that's like where the ads are on Amazon. So I'm just cutting those up. Make sense? Yeah, it makes sense. Alright, and then we see Caiaphas and I forgot his name, but we see them and they're having a meeting and they're talking about everything that happened in the temple, and basically the guy, sorry, I'm doing, like, my brain is not working. The other guy, not Caiaphas, is trying to reassure that everything is okay with Jesus and it's not turning into something. And he doesn't want him to know about the secret emergency meeting, because with Caiaphas involved, it will turn into nothing. And so, bunch of sort of like nothing else happens, just him trying to keep him. And then it cuts to John looking at Roman mythology pictures, I would assume, which is basically the story, sort of like the story in the Bible about the man who made a vow to the Lord that the first thing that comes out of his house when he arrives, if the Lord gives him the Ammonites, I believe, in his hands, which means if we win, and then it's his daughter, and it's sort of like a Roman mythology version of that. I'm not sure what exactly it is, or I would go more in depth in it because I love that stuff. But then it's mostly just John telling Jesus about it, because John knows that which in that time would be like a big thing. So Jesus says, like, I won't tell Zebedee about it. And then John ends up starting to cry, and he says, I'm starting to understand more, and the more I understand, the more I hurt, which makes sense, because at this time, they would start to understand more, and then they would eventually understand it, and they would eventually run away. So yeah, but it's pretty good scene, I would say, over here. I think I really enjoyed the Roman one, because that's like my main thing. Okay, and then we see a scene which is in the emergency meeting, which was shown sometime in December of 2024 as a Christmas gift from The Chosen. And so basically this is the plot to kill Jesus. And Yusuf and Shmuel gets into a big fight here because obviously Yusuf is a Jesus follower while Shmuel is a Jesus hater. And so they get into a big argument, and honestly, Shmuel wins, which, is expected, but it's just, you can tell. It's, like, obviously the votes have been taken to kill Jesus, but you can tell that it's already decided, which would make sense. And so, they start voting, and then outside of the temple is Caiaphas and other two that I can't remember, Pharisees, and those other two Pharisees try to basically butter him up and say that he's only as good as his father-in-law, who was Ananus, I believe. I don't know, his son is like almost the same as Ananus, but it's like said differently. But yeah, and so he's trying to butter him up, and then he says, like, what if Ananus were here? Maybe you should get his opinion, which will come to fruition in the next episode, I believe. Alright, and then we get into basically the big scene of this episode, which is Judas and Jesus talking. And basically Judas is sort of like pressing Jesus, being like, and what you did at the temple, well, that's just separating us from the people. We need to be with them. And basically it's just all stuff like that. Jesus answers, he gets mad, and Jesus says, I want your heart, I had it. And Judas yells and says, then why won't you trust me? And Jesus says, Jesus says something. I really should have watched this episode before. I'm sorry, but I'm really just trying to rapid fire through these, but also give you basically the gist of these. And so, Judas gets mad and yells at Jesus. Oh, Judas says, "Then why won't you help me?" And Jesus says, "I will pray for you," and that was the wrong answer to Judas. And basically, right here, Judas is now a wolf in sheep's clothing because he's no longer believing. And this is basically also a very sad episode because it's the downfall of Judas. And it's very sad. And then it cuts to the women, and Mary Magdalene says, pack your things, we're going to Lazarus' house. Which obviously the women will stay at Lazarus' house until Jesus dies. And then we see the cursing of the fig tree, and it's not my favorite scene, just because I feel like they kind of made it seem like Jesus was mad at the fig tree, which he wasn't, because he only ever got mad once in the Bible. But then that happened, and we get to Lazarus' house, and we see something that's probably mostly the human side of Jesus coming out, which is him telling like certain disciples to guard this place and guard that place, which I don't think that was, in this moment that was supposed to be his godly side. I think that was just his humanity being paranoid about, anything could happen. I mean, he's already died. The people have tried to kill him. So. Alright, and then we get to the last scene of this episode, which is the Dayenu, but the women's Dayenu and Lazarus's, but they switch it because they wanted to stupid. They wanted to do a special Dayenu when Passover would happen because they thought they were going to celebrate him, which is basically they went all over what Jesus has done and they said it's enough. It actually made me cry watching it because I started thinking of myself. So that was pretty good scene, and that's all that happened really. And then he says that I want you to all stay away from me for the next few days until things have happened, which would obviously be his death. And you see Mary, like his mother, you can see her worry, but also know, like she knows what's about to happen. And then Mary Magdalene, and then the episode ends with Mary Magdalene walking out of Lazarus' house and saying she's gonna get help, which will be a big reveal maybe next episode if I remember correctly. But yeah, so sorry that these are now being like not hourly videos, but they're being very quick. I just want to get these all out because I was having fun with it, and it's not that I'm not having fun reviewing these, but it's just like they've already passed, so yeah, I'm just trying to do these quick. But so yeah. Anyway, peace, bye, love each and every one of you. I will see you tomorrow. Being dead serious. So yeah.